The sea was angry that day, my friends. We had just set foot on a dock when we saw it. It was 90 feet long if 1 foot was an inch. Although the rest of Lake Washington was crowded with sailboats, we were on the biggest one out there. We were sailgating on the Big Dog.
Yeah, I've tailgated other places.
And does anything really compare?
I gotta say that this is probably the best place to tailgate in the world.
It's a great social event. The game is a big thing, but just, the people make it. You have a great time with the people. And every week we meet different people, and that's what it's all about.
I've been doing this for probably 35 years. I tried to figure that out. And it's, when you do it your whole life, this is just the way you go to the game. You'd never go by car. I do remember being in school and having a test and having them ask what was the different way that you go to games at the Husky Stadium. And the teacher said, Lisa Miles, she'll get it. She goes that way to the games. And I guessed float plane, not by boat, because I didn't think it was unusual.
I started in 1960.
Wow.
On the boat? No, we didn't start
actually,
on the boat in 1960.
Well, I started at the UW in 1960, but started in the boat we started
79.
We started on about a 40-foot boat, and then we've had about 4 or 5 over the last 30 years since then, and we graduated up to a 90-foot boat now. It's not mine. I mean,
He's the bartender. I'm junior assistant bartender.
Here's my son. We're 2-generation Huskies.
This one's a private party. Clearly, we're not invited. But that's a big one, and you just see that it just keeps on going down the way here. It's like a block party. It's like everybody knows everybody else.
Well, it was not a day. It was a day like today, rainy, windy, and my dad. They told him to park way out there on the end of all the boats here, and he decided that he'd just come into the end of the dock here and have all his friends pull him into the lily pads, and that was about 35 years ago. And the boondoggle has been legendary ever since. We've been in the same spot. Well, we show up about 2.5, 3 hours before the game, play a lot of dice. We I was over in Europe earlier, and I got some duck brats from France. They're the piece of resistance, so we're going to cook some of those up. We usually show up about midway through the first quarter and stay until the victory or the defeat.
So we've seen quite the boats out here. You must have some great stories from being out here for 5-6 years. So
these guys had somebody fall off their boat last year. They had to pull out. He's about twice my size. Get them in the right spot and let them take care of the rest. The only major stuff that ever happens out here is a few cleats have been ripped off, and a few props have hit chains underneath.
Probably the best crazy story is one year it had snowed the day before, and it was back when there were big, heavy, beautiful sweaters, and these 2 really beautiful women they got back on the wrong row of boats, and they had some lines in between the boats, and the first woman decided that she would tightrope walk, and of course we were not against it. So she tightrope walked off and it fell in immediately, and then her friend thought, well, I can do it. So she did too, and she fell in immediately.
Have you